Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Band Podcast. My name is Greg.
And this is Blue.
We just recorded a very, very special episode. What do we do, Blue?
So we have our mods join us for this episode, and they ask us a few questions from the community. So
yeah, we thought it would be a lot shorter, but it's probably the longest. It is the longest episode we've ever had. We just finished a voice chat session with them. We're recording this right after. It gets pretty emotional.
I cried twice. So yeah, you guys are in for a treat.
Yeah, so for people that were part of it, thank you guys so much. It was really short notice. True and Kiro really worked really hard behind our backs. Like, we didn't know that they did that, but I hope you guys enjoy it. So this is like, we were going to do this for the 1 year. True had the idea of doing a podcast with the community questions. So that's what we're going to get. We got some community questions, things that people asked us, and we just we didn't know the questions beforehand or anything. And we just kind of answered as we went. Hope you guys enjoy it.
Yeah,
it's
I think it's a cool episode.
It's probably the most emotional I've seen you on stream, maybe, or even like.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I got pretty emotional. You did too.
We don't have to talk about that. All right, you guys can check it out. Check it out. This is our voice chat session with mods Kiro Sanchi and True to Inner Self. Hope you guys enjoy.
Enjoy. So thanks for doing this with us.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. My pleasure.
Great idea by you guys. It's been a year, right?
Yeah.
Technically we had our 12-month last podcast, but still it's kind of like it's June for us. So it's like for real. Like
it's a year. It's kind of hard to it's weird.
Yeah.
It's really weird thinking that like a year ago, like we just turned the camera on and we just like sat in front of our counter. It's like, how the fuck do we do this?
Yeah. As you guys know.
Yeah.
So I think I've probably already explained it in the clip before, but you guys have questions for us and from you guys and also the community, correct?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, combination of both and just a little things interjected here and there.
But before that, do you guys want to introduce yourself to the people listening?
True, you want to go ahead first? Sure. So, I'm True. I've been here since, I want to say, day 3 of streaming. Back when Gray was just an occasional hand and maybe a slight oops here and there of a face.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I like long walks on the beach, and getting cozy with some D&D. Personally, before I met you guys, I did a little bit of streaming myself, and got promotions and stuff at work, so stopped doing that. But when I caught you guys and stumbled on your stream one day, decided that hey, these guys seem like they really want to do this, so I offered a little bit of knowledge that I had on what I'd gone through so far, trying to set stuff up and meeting and interacting with people and modding and things along those lines, and ended up here. That's pretty much it.
One of our mods, yeah.
Kiro?
Oh, guess my turn. Yeah. So hi, I'm Kiro, otherwise known as Kiro Sanchi, if you're looking at the Twitch chat. Much like True, I basically joined the stream, I guess, the 4th day, if I had to compare. And to not say this literally the same information, I guess when it was a mobile stream, half the time, right?
Yep.
And like I just randomly scrolled down through Twitch IRL back then and chose just a stream to check out in the middle of the night. Stumbled upon this stream and been here ever since, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And these are our 2 mods.
Yep. since day 4, I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah.
All right, so that's kind of the introduction to them. And oh yeah, we're blue. I'm gray.
I'm blue.
Yeah. I'm kind of scared. I'm genuinely kind of scared of.
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Really?
I'm a little
You don't know?
nervous of the questions that you
Yeah.
guys have.
Don't know what we're gonna ask you.
Mm-mm.
Nervous. Yeah. We have no idea what the questions are going to be.
Yeah.
This idea was thrown out by True and said, "Hey, we should try doing this," and we said, "Okay," but yeah, we have no idea what to expect. So if you guys are ready, go ahead.
Bum bum bum. Kira, you want to start, or you want me to start?
You can go ahead first.
Okay. Well, let's start this off with a deep conversation starter.
Okay.
This one's from me. And we will go with: is cereal a soup? Why or why not?
So, dude, we only have an hour. You know that, right? Are we actually answering that?
No, we don't have to answer that. First one will come from Firefox.
Oh boy.
So Fire is curious as to how streaming has affected your mental health. Maybe more so for Blue, as examples of positive and negative effects on mental health. How have you guys coped with starting to stream, and how has it affected you?
So I'll let you answer that. I think it's cool if for people that don't know how we started.
Yeah,
it'd be a
I
good
was
time for you to
actually gonna,
reiterate.
start off like that. So like I guess at first I started streaming because I lost my job, and I was at a point where I was like heavily depressed, and like I could tell that I would get to a very, very low point in my life, and I think Gray knew that too. And prior to me losing my job, I actually purchased a PS4 like camera because I was interested in streaming, but I just didn't have that kind of time. And because of that, like it was just sitting there in our shelf. Because I mean, I was working 6 days a week, and it was fairly long hours, so it's like, there was no time for me to start streaming. But once I lost my job and I was in that situation where like I didn't really want to do anything, like Gray kind of pushed me to do it. He's like, "Well, you got this camera, like you don't have anything to do now, so why don't you just try it, like to get your mind off of things, and it'll be fun, and you can just kind of pick up a new hobby, kind of thing." And so I really just started it as like just a hobby or something to get my mind off of dark, deep places. And so, I mean, and even then, we had to start on mobile because I didn't even know how to set it up in the first place. But yeah, I mean, it has definitely affected me positively, I think more than negative. Because I mean, first off, it became my job in the end. And the fact that it did really take my mind off of all the negatives, and having people come into chat. And I made so many friends on Twitch. And I made like a lot of like really cool connections with people. And it was like they gave me a lot of support that I couldn't necessarily get in real life, which I of course I did from like really close friends and family, but it was like they offered a lot of extra support. And there was a lot of people who knew, like who had similar experiences or who had similar, like, I guess, similar feelings. And so I did get a lot of support in that sense too. And so I think it was very positive. And that even now, I mean, it's really nice. It's really cool to know that even though I've never met most of these people, they're always there for me too. Like if something's going on, then I know that these people are there for me as well. So I made a lot of like lasting friendships, I guess, relationships with all these people that I never knew would happen. And it's really cool to think that all these people are not necessarily in Japan either. I mean, we have so many people from like other countries that I can call really close friends. And so I think we've been very fortunate to have so many supportive people that really help us get through like really stressful times as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because I mean, whenever we have a bad day, like we can just hop into Discord, and there's all these people, all our friends are there, who can get our mind off of like all the stressful stuff in our life, or who can lift us up, I suppose, with jokes and just I guess talking in general. So it has helped me not feel so alone, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the same goes for me too. Is that we started it because, well, I wasn't on stream 1st. It wasn't real. I wasn't supposed to really be part of it, but it quickly changed. And I work a normal job, I guess. Sometimes I get to work at home, so it's a little irregular. But balancing the stream and balancing, and everything that goes behind streaming and my normal job is actually it's pretty. There was a point where it was very difficult during the first year to really balance it out, because I wouldn't be thinking about work at all when I go to work. When I go to the office, I would always just be thinking about, okay, how do we make the stream better? Or so I couldn't focus on it at all. And there was a time when I was doing very poorly, and there was a lot of work that had to be done, but I kind of almost ignored it. Right now, it's a lot better. I've learned how to manage it, but it's almost like this thing I can see that is taking off in a really good direction. Not super fast, but in a very optimistic way. And also, I really like the speed that it was going at. It wasn't too fast, it wasn't too slow. So that kind of hope was actually making it harder for me to go to work, wake up every day and go to work. And when we like plateau and stuff, like that's when it was like the worst for me.
Yeah.
Or the bot situation where it was there was this moment of like, I'm working, like we're both working really hard, and I'm at this work that I don't even give a shit about, but like, why can't I just be spending all my time doing this? And it was kind of that inner battle mentally for me to overcome this feeling of, I don't, what am I doing this for? But the justification is always money. And that also angered me, that's what's stopping from me doing this. And I think that's the same for pretty much all streamers, is that if they're going for seriously, it's that you want to go for that stability in life. And it was really hard for me to balance that for maybe like 6 month, at 6 month 7 month mark, it was very hard for me to balance that, and I think it was taking a toll on me. But all in all, like, it's only because I love doing this so much.
And I think there was a part of me that was also angry at myself, because there were times when we would do really poorly. And I guess, like, sometimes on stream, I can tell that I'm not feeling like 100%. And there's a part of me that I knew the people watching would realize that too. And I think the people who are there also kind of could see that I wasn't at my, I guess, A game. And so there are times when, like, there was a time where I would get kind of angry at myself because all these people are there for me, and yet, like, I'm in a bad mood, or like I can't be in a better mood when I'm streaming and stuff like that. And of course, there are times when, like, I would get kind of upset at myself because Gray has to work a full-time job to support the both of us, and I can't pull my own weight, kind of thing. And so there was that kind of like uneasiness, I guess, of taking on like a creative job as well, because streaming is, I consider, a creative job, and it's not super stable. And so, I mean, I still struggle, I guess, with the fact that, that feeling of maybe I should get a part-time job, or maybe I should get a different job so I can pull my weight, I guess, in the relationship, because it's not completely stable. But in the end, like, I think the fact that I am, I guess, that I am doing this full time, like, if I were to pick up a part-time job, we wouldn't be able to do it as much as we are doing it right now, and we like wouldn't be able to focus. Like, I don't think I'm capable of focusing on 2 different jobs like Gray is. And so I think, in the sense, like, I understand that how would you say, I guess, like, Gray gave me the opportunity to do this, and so I can't let it go to, I guess, waste, if that makes sense, either. And so I do make it, I guess, harder on myself when we do, like, hit plateaus, or we do get botted, because I feel like that's kind of limiting us from reaching that point where we both want to get to so bad.
Yeah,
so
sure.
It is stressful in that way when we do hit, like, those kind of hard points in streaming, because I want to make it, I guess I want to reach that point, like, as soon as possible. So
To try to almost pay back that opportunity that you've been given to make something stable for yourself as well.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it would be nice to get to a point where we can both do this, and Gray doesn't have to go do this job that he doesn't really like. And sorry, I'm getting emotional.
It's the first question.
I'm
sorry. You're okay.
Yeah. So
the whole year is flashing back right now.
Yeah. But it's been a good year, right? So
yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Just more
For
goals
sure.
to move on to.
Mm-hmm.
Kiro, you said you had a question, another one from the community.
Yeah, it kind of ties into what you were talking about. So there was a question from Major, and the question was, what are some legitimate steps you plan to take in becoming a bigger streamer? And that the reasoning behind that is, for example, in previous podcasts, you've talked about kind of the number being kind of like stable in a certain range. And given that you plan to be a partner in the future, are there any steps you plan on taking to get closer to that goal?
It's a really good question. For us, I think the best thing that we can do is just keep doing what we do normally with what the core stream is, because it's true that we do want to get to this partner status. It'd be really nice. But I kind of think, like, it has to come. It's either it comes very organically over time, or it comes very unnaturally too fast. And I don't want to be in a place where I can't do the bluish stream anymore. I don't want to do that. I want it to be bluish at the core. So I don't want people to come into our stream thinking, well, this is not what I subbed to 12 months ago. And in order for us to keep that, it's this grind right here is extremely important. So I think there were times where, like, well, there's a lot of Japanese streamers that are really streamers in Japan that are getting big numbers, and, like, if we do, and it was a time when we were doing IRL a lot, it was like, it'd be cool to, like, do something with them, not in a sketchy, like, stream snipe way, of course, but, like, just like, hey, maybe we should just, like, reach out to them, maybe they're looking for friends. But it was I don't think that's the kind of growth that would suit us. We kind of felt like the slower and organic it is, and it's not that it's super slow or anything. There is growth. So as long as we can see that progression month to month, I think keeping it this style is really important, is what I thought. How about you, Blue?
I agree. I mean, as long as we're getting, like Gray said, as long as we're seeing some sort of growth, whether it be like, I don't know, new people who come into chat, like new regulars, new people who are enjoying our Discord and whatnot. I think that's what's most important, because like instead, like I don't want a stream where it's just gonna be like reactions, as in like maybe that's inevitable in the future. I don't know, but like I still want a stream where we can go in and talk. Like sometimes we have like super deep conversations, and I still want those to happen. And so I don't want to stream where in the future people are just gonna have us like running in the background, and maybe there's like occasional emails. Like I still want us to be in a point where maybe we can't read everyone's comments, but we can still have really like, you know, meaningful conversations, as well as, you know, the joking ones where we get a little crazy. But so I think like, yeah, I mean, the growth may not be super fast, and maybe we're not at, you know, partner where we can get a lot of money, or like we can, well, live off of this full time. But I'm pretty confident that we can get there someday, like in the near future. I don't think it's gonna take like 10 years, or I'm hoping it's not gonna take, you know, a lot of years. But I think we'll get there as long as we can get there organically and still keep it the way where people can look back and be like, oh yeah, like this is still the guys that I have been supporting since the first couple months, or like the first time I joined, kind of thing. And I don't want to grow into a stream where people regret subbing to,
Yeah,
in the future.
For sure.
and
So
it comes from the fact for me, and I'm sure this is the same for Blue, but we just really like the Bluest stream. We like what it is, and not just us, but the environment that we have, the hard work that we put into it, the effort that the people, the community that have, they don't have to, they got their lives, but they put effort into it. They try to make this a really nice place. If somebody's having trouble, and if we're all asleep, they'll help out. It's we just really fucking like Bluest more than as much as everybody, I think. And that,
yeah,
and it's not, we're not saying we're better than anybody. We just personally really, really like it. And we want people to discover us and think, whoa, like these guys are like,
really
they're kind of
special.
yeah. And because we think this is, I think this is something very special that we have. So that's also another reason why there's no need to give up, because it's a special place with special people. And it's,
And I think we've created an environment where there's people in our Discord who, when they first wake up, they say good morning in our Discord. And then when they go to bed, they say good night. And within that time, they're there talking because they want to be there and they want to talk to the people in our Discord, not just us, but everyone in there. And I think it's really, I always keep saying this, but we created our own little, like, kind of like our own little Reddit in a way, where people would rather spend time there than anywhere else. And I think that's really, really cool. We just created this atmosphere where we're just, everyone just actively wants to be there, not because they have to, but they actually want to be there. And they choose to play with these people in our Discord and became friends with the people in our streams, in our Discord, and they're happy to see each other and want to hear about each other's lives or what they're interested in. And I think that's so cool.
Yeah. I wish I had a place like that when I was in high school.
Yeah, me too.
So,
So
for sure, that actually kind of leads into the next question from one of the community members. But before I say that, I kind of want to touch on what you guys have been talking about, because everything's kind of leading in from one into the next really well. But one of the things that you guys touch on is kind of wanting to do your streams the same way, so that whether it's day one or 3 years from now, that you're still the same community focused based people. And I think where a lot of streamers, their way of streaming is kind of the tried and true, you're there when the stream's on, but you kind of keep that wall in the in between. you guys, on the other hand, have kind of taken the opposite route where you are building really more of a community than anything, and it's not even really just stream focused, it's community focused, and I think that really picks up from a lot of the community members just on what you were talking about in terms of the way that they interact with each other and wanting to get on and talk to each other all the time, and talk to you guys and talk to us, and that whole thing. And so that kind of leads into Pie's question of did you expect your stream to attract such a loyal community, or is that something that just developed?
Like I explained, a couple minutes ago, like when I started this, I thought it was just going to be a hobby. Like it's just one of those things it was a temporary thing.
Hence the username Bluest.
Yeah, because it was just a username I used on everything, like all my social media and everything. I mean, I don't use it anymore on other things, but it's just a username I thought of because I like the color blue, and I just like attaching like suffix, is that the right word, to things, and so it was just a name I came up with, and so it was just supposed to be something I did while I looked for another job. And so no, I was not. I mean, we both were not expecting it to get this big. I mean, Gray was just there, so I didn't have to talk to an empty crowd. So I can just have I can have someone I could talk to while I play games and whatnot. And then we started getting people who really liked our dynamic, and we're like, oh, maybe we could do something with this. And so yeah, no, I mean, I wasn't expecting to have people come into like our first streams either. So yeah, it was very, very unexpected.
Yeah, and when it started happening, it was really quick. We were able to tell very quickly that these people actually liked us, and we quickly understood that Twitch is really just come and go, where it's because each streams are very long and they do it every day. It's like you don't have to stick around. You really don't, and I don't think you just come for a little bit and then you go. But when we realized that these people were coming to our streams every day, interacting every day with the same people, you realize that I've never done that with any of my friends. Like of course I hang out with people at school and stuff, but I think I've spent more time with the people I spend on Twitch and Discord than I do in my real life. And there was a moment where it was like an overload, and meeting people in real life is the true test of how close it is, because people have been watching for a year and they still remember us, So once that started happening very quickly, I thought, oh, we have something special. Like maybe it's something we don't notice. I just thought hanging out with people on Twitch is a normal thing, but there was something that I really enjoyed, and people seemed to like it, and the dynamic of Blue and Gray that it was completely natural. Like it very quickly became, oh, Gray's this guy and Blue's this kind of. So the memes that went around were centered around that, and we kind of molded ourselves to that too. So it was unexpected, and it was really like that's actually what really gave us that confidence in the first place.
It's almost like you guys had chemistry before you started streaming.
I know, right?
Okay, and that leads us to another question that I had.
Hey.
Actually, it's not as heavy hitting as defining cereal, but so the question is, how do you find balancing your personal life with streaming, and if that negatively affects what plans you can make in terms of like a time investment or anything else?
I mean, to be completely honest, yes, it is very time consuming.
It will take over your life.
Yeah, it has taken over our life, but I don't think that's necessarily negative.
Mm-hmm.
Like, of course, we stream a lot. As in, we stream, what, 6 times a week? No,
5.
sorry, 5 times a week. And so, and the days off are on weekdays when Gray works. So, yes, I mean, when our friends are in real life or real life friends contact us and they're like, oh, let's hang out. We can only hang out between streams. And sometimes we do reschedule, but we try not to because we want to keep a consistent schedule and we know that consistency is very important. And so there are times when we have to be like, oh, sorry, we're streaming during that time, so we can't go. Or, like, oh yeah, we can only hang out from this time to this time. But I don't think, and we've been able to schedule it between those times. So it hasn't really been much of not necessarily like a setback, but yeah, I mean, and then there are times when, maybe Gray and I can't really go on dates anymore. But honestly, that's not. I mean, we stream together, and I think that's the perk of streaming together, is that streaming is something that we, as a couple, can do. And so while we're not maybe going physically out on like dates and whatnot, we're kind of having a little mini date on stream because we are interacting with each other and we are spending time with each other streaming. And so it's not like I'm not sad that we don't have time or something, and we can always spend time together like between streams as well. And so and that's what we do. Like we watch TV shows or movies or we play games together when we're not streaming, and I think that's plenty of time where we can spend, I guess, like private time as well. So
Yeah, it definitely takes over our lives. I can't deny that. I would lie. I would be lying to say, because streaming doesn't end when we cut the stream or before the stream. It starts before that, and it keeps continuing. But I couldn't ask for a less boring life than that, where I don't have to come home every day and not think about anything. That would be the worst case scenario. I get to think about something every day, pretty much every moment. And yes, it's hard to just balance work and this sometimes, but I would much rather have this than having a boring every day, I guess. Of course, there's the matter of, I mean, it's such a privilege that we get to do this together.
yeah,
I cannot imagine a situation where it was just one of us. Like, that is where it really gets detrimental in a relationship. If we're living together and I'm putting as this much work or you're putting this much work into this and one of us isn't. So it's so nice to have somebody that's, essentially your best friend being so passionate about this, and it's as much as I am. So it's just like we're very lucky in that sense. But yeah, so I can say it's taking up our lives, but I'd rather be doing this than like, let's say you not having a job or you doing a part-time job that you hate. I would hate to see that. So I would much rather have this.
Yeah.
And I'm sure chat will be happy to know that you're going on dates with them every once in a while too.
That's right.
So I got one more slightly harder hitting question. This one comes from Hama. He says, do you see your community members all the same? And by the same, I mean, do you prefer some members over others? Or do you see all members as the same with no difference? Or does it depend on what he or she does?
Again, a very good question. If we saw everybody the same, I don't think we could have, and I'm going to try and explain this as best as I can, so there's no miscommunication here. If we saw everybody exactly the same, that would mean that we're not interacting with these people because everybody's different, and we're not going really cutting deep into these relationships. So we see everybody different. but in the sense of it kind of sounds like if it's like ranking, no, there's no ranking. um Everybody is the same in the sense that if they do something stupid or something that we don't agree with, we will call them out and we'll have a talk with them. It's not so no one gets to get, they get a freebie because they're friends with blue and gray, like that kind of stuff. I haven't had that, and I hated that since like high school, so I'm not going to bring this into this situation. That being said, if I'm interacting with somebody on a daily basis, or they're interacting with me, or me or Blue, I'm going to know more about this person naturally. And that's how human relationships work. I'm going to know more about what they like, what they don't like, the way they talk, the way they give me a sign that says, I don't want to talk today. Or these little nuances in human interaction, which means I'm going to have a better idea of where they're coming from when they say something. But that doesn't matter if that doesn't matter in the sense that if they say something that a first timer in chat gets banned for saying, or I will call gets called out for saying, the person that's there for months and months and months should know better than that person to not say it. So I'll call them out. But in my head, I'll be like, okay, they're probably coming from this, this, and this, but that's still not acceptable because I can't let that person do that while other people are not allowed to do that. But there are a lot of people that interact with us more than other people. Like there's people that are quiet, and there's people that just don't interact as much, but they like lurk in stream, which is completely fine, and we love them for it. But so I feel like we're all sitting at the same lunch table. Everybody's got a different personality, and we're open to any conversation that anybody that takes their time to join the stream. Like my standpoint is, if you're taking your time to join the stream and hang out with us or on the Discord, then you have my full attention at all times. Nobody is going to be left out. And just because I'm physically talking to somebody more maybe than other people, it's not because I don't want to talk to you. It's because that's just that maybe you're a different type of person. And if you can't come into the conversation, that's a miscommunication. And if you can let us know, and which is hard, I know, but I'm sure we can clear it, because I hope it shows that I'm trying to interact with everybody on stream, everybody on Discord. So I guess I just really made that explanation long just so I can try and hit some points, which I know I'm probably missing some points after I listen to this. But so I really hope there's no miscommunication. But no, everybody is different, so I'm gonna have a different impression of them. No ranking system ever. But if I talk to somebody more, I'm naturally gonna know more about them. So that creates a certain type of dynamic, and that might come off as clicky. That might come off as making a group, but I would never, because I've experienced it before in my life, I would never push anybody away from interacting with us. That's my answer. How about you, Boo?
I mean, to add to that, because I do agree with what you're saying, to add to that, I think it also depends on, like, also with the whole, the more we interact with people, the better we do know certain people because of how much we've, like, talked to them and whatnot. I think it also helps. The more we talk to people, the more we know their sense of humor as well. And so there are going to be people who we are more comfortable with, maybe saying a certain joke, or maybe pushing the buttons a little bit, just because we know their level of humor and what they, or how they tend to I suppose take certain comments and whatnot. And so I think that also may have some weight in how we are interacting with certain people. And so I think that also may seem like we are not necessarily like a clique, but that may make it seem like we are more closer to that person just because we know how to handle the humor with that certain person. And it's just, and I don't think, I mean, we're not, just because we're not joking around with someone doesn't mean we don't like them. It's most likely the case of we're just not sure of how the other person's sense of humor is either. And so we're trying to kind of slowly build that, I guess, comfortability, I suppose, to get to that certain point too, to the point where we can start joking around with them as well. So it's not necessarily, I guess, negative if we are more serious when we talk to certain people. It's just for us to get to a certain point where we can like make certain jokes or something. You know, it's just, it requires a certain amount of conversation to get to know that person more, if that makes sense. Because the last thing I want to do is joke around with someone that I don't know very well and hurt their feelings. And so, especially for me and my personality, I tend to kind of talk with someone first in more of a serious matter before I can start joking around with them, just because of how my personality works and how I don't want to unintentionally hurt someone, because I know I don't have I'm not skilled with my choice of words sometimes, and I know I can come off very blunt. And sometimes I do hurt people unintentionally because my sense of humor is very dry sometimes, or I might come off really sarcastic. And so I don't want to do that to someone who 100% does not know that like I'm joking or not. Like I don't want to say something to someone who doesn't know my sense of humor yet. And so I would rather like slowly build that up with everyone before I fully go out and like say something super sarcastic, and I don't want them to take that up to heart either.
Versus someone like myself who shoves their foot in their mouth.
Yeah. So I think it's not just what, you know, the level of conversation we have with other people. It's just me and my comfortability with my personality as well. So I hope people understand that it is also me with my own, I think, like knowing myself and my personality, that I am going to how would you say, like not confront, but like I'm going to face each person a little bit differently, just because of how I have experienced before in my relationships through like high school and college, and well, my previous relationships, where I don't want things to come. I just don't want miscommunication with people, and since I've had some difficulty making friends and whatnot, I just don't want to ruin like all these chances of making really good friends, and I don't want people to be hurt because of what I say accidentally, or people think that, you know, I unintentionally say, or it could be taken differently. And so there a lot of it has to do with me and my personality and my comfort level when it comes to the things I say as well. So I think there is a part of me that has a certain type of, not necessarily like a wall, but a certain type of like a filter that I put myself through first, and then that slowly gets kind of turned off as we get more comfortable with each other. So just because I'm joking around with one person doesn't mean I like that person more. It just means that I've been able to, you know, I guess
unfilter a bit.
Yeah, unfilter a little bit, because I know their level of, I suppose, humor and their way of thinking. And so I am comfortable with saying certain things, I suppose. I hope that makes sense.
Making sure that you're kind of in a safe space to be able to make those jokes without stepping on anybody's feelings, because
Exactly.
Everybody's different. Everybody approaches things different. Everybody has different expectations of other people when they come into conversations. And so you never know kind of what's what.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think, Kiro, you had a question that kind of went along those lines as well.
Yeah. So in relation to that, how do you handle the expectations that viewers generally tend to have from the streamer that they view and follow.
What kind of just any expectation?
Well, so the way you can view it as like, so it could either be friendship or anything else. So because Twitch has a certain special dynamic that you might not find in other platforms where you're interacting with the streamer directly, and that kind of you're obviously building a relationship with the streamer, but that kind of leads to a certain perception of a dynamic that the viewer would have with the streamer. You know?
Yeah. How do we deal with that? I think, if they feel that we don't, if it's not showing, because all we can do is show what we're trying to do, right? So if it's not showing that we're trying for them personally, and this is all up to interpretation to that person, like maybe we could have been on a bad day or something and we just didn't interact as much as normal or something. So if we aren't interacting with them in their eyes and they don't want to be part of the community, there's nothing we can do. What we know that we can do is pretty limited, honestly, because it's what we know. So we'll interact as best as we can, and I think it's also dangerous. It's also a dangerous thing to think that every streamer is going to be your best friend because of this given dynamic. It takes it's the streamer's responsibility to push that wall and say, "Nah, come in," but it's also almost the viewer's responsibility, which is kind of a weird thing to say because a viewer shouldn't have any responsibilities, is to pull that back and say, wait, this person's really friendly, but I have to understand that they're also a streamer. And we only push that kind of like that wall, I guess, really hard on people that really understand that. And that's not saying that the people that we don't push, we push away. We're just saying we're trying to always, through the way they talk, through the way they interact with people offline, with us offline, we try to gauge what the best distance is for each person. And I try to get personal with as many people as possible. For example, like on Twitch, if their name is not the same on Discord, I'll always put a note, because you can put notes on people in Discord, to just put in the Twitch username, so I know exactly which memes they were talking about, what they were like, what their interests are. I try not to forget, and of course I'm human, so I do forget sometimes, but I'm trying to always, at all times, gauge. Whenever anyone posts on Discord and it's somebody new, I try to think, did this person say this person say this person say that? Do they like this? They probably don't like that. Or is kind of what I try to do. And that's my way of not, I wouldn't say overcome, but to I guess try to go with the whole relationship of Twitch streamers and Twitch viewers, because you're right, it's a very unique dynamic, and we really like that dynamic. I feel like it's very new, it's very exciting, but it's our responsibility to not push too much when it's when they don't want to be pushed too much. And sometimes I get that messed up too, so they might get scared to run away, which is inevitable, I think. And it's also very important to understand that maybe that streamer is just not in that frame of mind, or just not in, and I'm talking about us, is like we're not in that that headspace at the moment to really interact with everybody. But it's always important for both sides to kind of have that understanding, I think. Yeah. How about you, Blue?
I mean, I agree. It's I mean, it is sometimes, especially with, yeah, like Gary mentioned, it does sometimes slip my mind of like people's usernames and whatnot. And sometimes, of course, I do. I can't keep track of what everyone's been talking about or what everyone's interest is and whatnot. And we do try our best to make sure that we do interact with everyone and that everyone can enjoy their time there. And like you said, for the responsibility aspect, I think it is our responsibility definitely to make sure everyone does feel included, and it is our responsibility to make sure everyone is enjoying their time there. And I think it is also, in a viewer's eyes to, like a viewer's responsibility, I suppose, to also understand that we have to give, I suppose, we have to give attention, or we have to also interact with everyone else. And so there are times when maybe we can't 100%, interact with one person. We have to give, everyone a fair, I guess, amount of time with us. And so I guess my biggest wish, I suppose, is I hope everyone, understands that we try our best to give everyone a fair amount of time, like with, me or M. Gray, like both of us. But there's gonna be times when maybe we have to, give attention to some, like, other people, because there are times when not everyone is there at the same time and not everyone's talking there at the same time. And so, we might actually have to go out of our way to talk to someone specifically, because we realize, like, oh, they haven't been around very, like, recently. We really want to, make sure that they feel important and they feel welcome for coming back and whatnot as well. So
yeah, and we talk about it in detail because we just don't want any misconceptions, or we don't want to say something wrong that we don't mean.
Yeah.
But the thing is, everybody here understands that, which is just so easy for us. People understand that, and for that, it's actually pretty hard, because like Kiro-chan said, like, there's this expectation, blah blah. But I would like to think we've able to create this community where that's like, like, it's okay. That's why nobody, like, goes off and destroys us when we have to move a stream sometime. It's because that kind of connection, that mutual understanding is like, okay, that's fine. Like, and of course we do everything in our power to make sure that doesn't happen. But when it does, there's just this mutual understanding of what, okay, they're humans too. Yeah. And I think that makes it really easy for us, and it's really unfortunate if that's the connection that you don't have. It makes it really, really hard. And I know people that are like top of Twitch probably don't, they don't have that kind of luxury. It's a luxury to be able to have this kind of connection. You work hard for it, but when you gain it, it's something you can't trade that. And so I think it's very important that we all kind of have that mutual understanding, which it's a little bit of a different topic, but when people feel welcome or not welcome, that's another conversation that we really have a lot of the time, is what do we consider the safe space of Bluest? What topics can we talk about? What topics can we not talk about? Because then that becomes that space right there becomes the character of the Bluest stream, right? We're okay with talking about lewd topics. We're okay talking about some certain stuff, but we're not okay talking about some certain stuff, because that's a lot of it is personal. A lot of it is personal stuff that we don't want to put in. But we think it's very important to implement those specific rules in there, because that's a way of showing, like, oh, these are the kind of streamers. And if you don't like that, you can leave, and there's no problem with that. No hard feelings or anything like that. It's just, out of the billion streams, Bluest wasn't the one for you.
Mm-hmm.
But if we don't do that, that also we lose color. That's our color. That space right there, what you can do, how you can interact, what you can do, is such an important way to represent your community. And I'm not saying that Tengas represent our community, or those kind of topics, but the fact that you can talk about stuff like that to really show off, or to really just show the people that this is the kind of space we have, is what for us, it's been working to bring in the people that really would enjoy the blues in the future and people that don't want to. Um, it it doesn't waste their time. I guess they get to go on and do something that's more useful for them, and I think that's really really important. A little irrelevant, but I thought it was.
Still definitely on target for the point. For sure.
You had a question?
Yeah. So this is another community question, kind of anonymously, but it was in general asked. So we have the Gloomy Days Discord and the this is BS section for the Discord. And one of the questions that was asked was whether it was before stream or after stream, for when you guys started, what was kind of your lowest point that maybe you had wished that you had a space like that with the community members that we have that go in there on a constant basis to talk people through stuff and help deal with stuff. What was the lowest point really for you guys that at least you feel comfortable talking about? That you kind of wish you had that space to be able to talk about those things.
Is this regarding streaming or off streaming?
Either, both.
For me, I think we talked about in the previous podcast about bots. And that was probably the worst thing that happened to our stream. So I'll talk about something different but I think it was when we realized, and I'm going to talk about stream, but another thing that happened on stream was that it's when we really realized that variety streaming is really hard. When that realization, it was when we hit our plateau and we were really thinking, it really made me lose hope for a second there. And it was that moment, and I didn't say anything because I knew it was just a phase, and it's this thing where I know, just keep going, keep going, keep going. But it was really hard to get out of that negative headspace where it's like, our community wants to see this one thing, and we want to do that with them. But is it selfish, and is it really, really us not listening to the community to not play that game or do something different that gets more attraction from new viewers? And that's there was one point where I just couldn't. It was after Bloodborne. It was after probably like the beginning of this year, where I just couldn't get out of that headspace, and I was so frustrated, and I was so anxious to stream anything new. And it was right before we really really went hard with Final Fantasy 14, but it was just, I was having a really hard time I was trying to have fun every time on stream, and the chat makes it fun and everything, but there was this, like, at the back of my head, there's like this whatever entity just telling me like, this isn't right, this isn't right. And the thing is, when you do stuff like that, the chat does it. I could actually physically see it. If chat was the same every single stream, but the view is different somehow, I wouldn't care. But it shows on stream, like the chat would, and so I felt this feeling of like, oh, is this really not the way to do Twitch? And are we fucking up? And are we always going to be these people where we have this really strong community going, you guys should get, you guys will definitely get partner. You guys will definitely go up. I really hope. And it's like, but we can't make it up to these people because these people want us to succeed as much as we do. And I think it's for us to hit a certain amount of successfulness is a way to really, when we get there, I'm gonna be like, you guys did this for us, and you guys should be as proud as we, and we will give back as much as we try to do now, and just be proud for it. And then there was that moment where I just thought, I can't do this for us, and I can't do this for them, because every time we start a new game, even if we enjoy it, nobody's here.
Yeah.
Compared to when we had, and then it was like, okay, Bloodborne was great. NG plus, nobody gives a shit. Like, we don't get new people, and it's like the numbers just went boom because everyone wants to see that first playthrough, but not the second playthrough. Nobody cares unless you're doing like a challenge run, or you get lucky. There's a bigger streamer that raids you or that's playing in front of you. Because there's always this thing on Twitch where you want to be the second most popular stream that's playing that game. You don't want to be first. Third maybe okay, but at least that first row, you want to stay in that first row, but not first. You want to stay behind, and it's the bigger the number. And this is like our strategy that I'm just saying right now, like blatantly, but it's what showed us the most. And that's like, for example, that's why we only stream Danganronpa on very specific days.
Yeah,
because there was a streamer that was a partner that was streaming it at our time that was always leagues ahead, because nobody really streams that game, especially the Danganronpa 1. We only streamed it on days that that streamer was streaming, and there was that moment where we just I couldn't get out of that funk for a while, and I didn't want to play, and we didn't even have Final Fantasy 14 at that time, so I didn't know what to do. That's why we did a bunch of IRLs. That's the behind the scenes of IRL, because that was the only thing that seemed to be doing
relatively well.
Yeah, and the reason why we don't do it as much anymore is because we found Final Fantasy 14. And it's just like, and I just hated myself thinking like that. I fucking hated that I had to be in this headspace where I'm like, yeah, but the community's enjoying it. It shouldn't matter. And then in my head, I'm going, but if I really want to make it up to Blue because Blue says, I gave her the opportunity, but from my side of the story, it's if I made her do this and if this doesn't go well for us and her, I made her do something like waste a bunch of time to do something that didn't even succeed. I kind of have that pressure, which kind of keeps me driving too. But I won't make it up to you. I won't make it up to myself, the community, right? And I'm like, I don't want to be that person that doesn't listen to the community. I would feel wrong about that. Like, maybe if we started playing a game that nobody's interested, like 0 people are interested, and we're only chasing the numbers, and we don't even enjoy the game. Like, I could see myself being like, is that what I'm becoming? I mean, of course not, but I didn't. But it was really difficult, and I hated myself that I had to be in that headspace. And I think at that time, I really wanted a place like Gloomy Days, or This Is Bullshit. How about you?
For me is, I think So I guess even though I've been doing this for a year, we've been doing this for a year, there are times when I still feel very self-conscious. I mean, there are times when I feel like I'm not doing well enough, or maybe I'm not entertaining enough, or I'm not funny enough, and I feel like I'm just really boring. And so, which I don't think that's the case, but there are times when maybe like a troll comes in, and even though I know in my mind that it's a troll, and it's someone who's not even there on a daily basis, who doesn't really know me, or who doesn't know the streams, like sometimes there are times when, like, especially when I'm streaming by myself, and these trolls come in, and they're like, oh, this is boring, or like, you're not funny, or like they make these comments where I know why they're making the comments is to get a reaction out of me, and I know that trolls are someone you're supposed to ignore and you can't take personally, but there's still a point where I do, and I do take them. It's hard to take them not necessarily seriously, but like it's hard to take them or just ignore them, especially if there's a part of me that feels like maybe I'm not doing very well. And especially that really hit me pretty hard when we were hitting plateaus, or when like we weren't doing well, as in like people weren't coming into chat, or like it would be it could even be a day when I wasn't feeling like 100%. I would just have these like lows where I felt like I wasn't doing the best I could, or I thought I was doing so bad to the point where, maybe streaming wasn't for me, kind of thing. And I really didn't. Yeah, I think that was probably my lowest point. It's just feeling those. It's just those times when I just feel like people are there just because. How would you say? Yeah, I guess I just felt like I shouldn't even be there because I wasn't doing well enough, or I wasn't entertaining or like funny enough and kind of things. And so it's just, I guess I'm still having difficulty trying to balance the hurtful comments that come into chat sometimes by by trolls or by people who I should be ignoring. But it's something, and I know, like, when you're on the internet, that's something you should be aware of, is that there are going to be people like that who actually come in saying hurtful things or try to get like reactions out of you. And I know that you're supposed to ignore it, but I know I'm a very sensitive person, and I have a tendency to take things very seriously and very personally. And so that's still something that I face kind of on a daily basis. And so there are times when I would end stream and there's this one comment that still bugs me until like the second stream, or like until I talk to Gray about it. Or there are just times when I feel really sad. I feel like I didn't do a very good job. Or I guess I would like overthink things, or to the point where like, oh, well, this person just came in, saw this, and realized it wasn't a good stream. And so if someone who's new can't, like, then I would think, like, is this what people see? Like, is this what newcomers see when they come in? Is a stream that's not even like, it's not like, I guess, I don't know, good, I guess. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's just, I don't know. I felt like
some insecurities that you face. I definitely get it.
Yeah. I feel like I'm just rambling at this point. But yeah, so there are times when I still do have very big insecurities that I do face that I don't really mention very much.
I know for me personally, that was something that was very weird to think about with you in particular, because you didn't strike me as that kind of person. That kind of wall that you were talking about putting up earlier, that filter kind of blocks a lot of people, I think, from seeing that side of you, and maybe not even really realizing it. But Gray,
Yeah.
Can I get one of your Danganronpa's patented "you're wrongs," please?
You're wrong.
Okay, and this is the truth bullets that I'm gonna throw at your insecurities, because to kind of lead into the next part of this, and I hope I'm not cutting you off, but to kind of lead into the next part of this, I have some special comments from several community members. Okay. I went around while we were doing this, because I know a lot of this was last minute. I apologize to anybody that I messaged that I wasn't able to get back to, or weren't able to get back to me before we started recording this. But I know the plan to kind of throw this together was all kind of last minute. So I apologize again for those people that I didn't get back to, but I did get a number of people, including some from the vault, that had some things that they wanted to say. Yeah, some longtime community members.
All right.
So I'm going to start with Firefox.
Okay.
Firefox wanted to say thank you so much for streaming and creating this environment for all of us to hang out with and chat and watch games with you. I hope you guys reach your goals and continue to do this into the future. Sincerely yours, Firefox. Hamo responded with wishing you another year of streaming, full of energy, positivity plus joy. Tangled with Hey Blue and Gray, you've made it all this way. I still can't believe how far you guys have come. You guys have managed to get through everyone who has tried to put you down, others that came in merely just to troll. It's been a fun ride with you guys and watching the community grow with all the new jokes no one really gets. It's still very hard to believe that you two have gotten all this way in the streaming game. I'm proud of you two for making it where others completely gave up. There are so many things I would like to say, but I just can't seem to put them into words. But there's one thing I will always say. So, Blue, after about a year of asking, could I finally get that fat dab?
Nope.
Major said, I say this all the time, but when I first came to Korea, I was by myself. I didn't know anyone. I was too nervous to even try to meet anybody. And then I found Blue and Gray, and I didn't know how involved I would be when I first started. I had talked to people in streams before, but never really interacted with people on Discord. The people in this community were so welcoming and fun, and for the first time ever, I made friends online, and not just friends, but a family. Not only was that possible because of Blue and Gray, but also, but they're also such a big part of it. They don't treat us just as viewers; they actually respect us and value us as friends. They've become some of my closest friends, which I never thought would happen with people I've never really met, and I can't wait to really get to meet them and build a friendship with them in real life. Happy stream anniversary, and I hope you guys have many more. Amon responded with, all I want to say is I love you both. Glyden responded with, one of the things I respect most about them both, particularly with the way Gray handled things, is that Blue was having a real tough time before she started streaming. So they talked about it with each other. And Gray had the idea of Blue streaming, even if it didn't really take off, just for the fun of it. It amounted to. She just needed a change. They kind of touched on that a little bit in the beginning, just surface level stuff. I came in purely for the reasoning of watching noobs get destroyed in BB. I was helping Blue run some chalices in BB when they opened up more seriously about it, and that's when I really started to like them. I was genuinely impressed with how they handled it and admired Gray for it. It was genuine and kind. And I really admire Blue for it too. I think you'd agree that she's changed a little bit in the year since she started streaming, more outgoing and happy, even made some good friends who she's had a blast with, Doip, Roxy, Ace. When they visited, they're both just good, genuine people, a good couple, and it feels like a community of friends overall. Matt says, congrats on year 1, Blue and Gray. It's been a lot of fun to watch and participate in all your blind playthroughs, IRLs, community game nights, and just chill drinking streams. You guys have been amazing over the past year, and I look forward to many more. I love the community you've built and all the people in it. Special shout out to the Final Fantasy XIV and Discord crew. Praise Lord Anu. Love Matt, your favorite one. Capybara responded with, Blue, I know you started streaming career as a way to cope. I hope it's working out well because I was able to cope with my tough times thanks to the community that you've built around it. And Gray, thanks for supporting whatever Blue was up to and holding by it. Awesome job for always being there. Chosen with a happy 1-year anniversary to Mama and Papa.
Hey.
Dolphin with thanks for bringing together such an awesome community. Pi with happy 1 year. This community means a lot, and I joined it at a time where I was very lonely and in a new country. I have so many friends around the world now. Every time I catch a stream or hang out in Discord, it feels like a comfy home. I appreciate all the hard work you put into keeping the community together. I wish you guys the best of luck over the next year of your stream, and you deserve success. Roxy with happy 1 year. You guys are so awesome. We appreciate the joy and entertainment you both have brought to our lives because of you guys. Doip and I and the community have made friends all over the world. Blue and Gray, you both aren't just providing people with entertainment, but instead you're making a community where people can actually care about one another. That's what sets you apart from other streamers. Thank you for that. And thank you so much for everything you've done. Your friends, Roxy and Doip. I reached out to a couple. I reached out to Paco and Classy Bathrobe. And Paco wanted to wish you a happy 1 year, and Classy Bathrobe wanted to wish you a happy 1 year and retell this story. He said, I met Blue and Gray 18 years ago while I was fishing for tuna cans off the coast of Tahiti. My wife was with child at the time, and she was hungry for a sandwich, so I swam to shore to get her something from Subway. When I was attacked by what seemed like 22 goldfish, I screamed for help, and just as I was about to drown, someone grabbed my hand. He lifted me up to the boat and told me his name was Bruce Wayne and that he wasn't Batman. I said, thank you, Bruce Wayne. After dropping off to shore, I learned that Bruce Wayne had really already informed my wife, and she met me by the port where we shared leftover tunas and talked about the need for more pollution. The end.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I also reached out to AJ.
What?
He wanted me to tell you guys how amazing you guys were and how much fun he had during his time there before he got banned. That you guys were really amazing, plus your content was very lovely and amazing.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
And Kiro, I believe you had something you wanted to put in there?
Yeah, so not to make it too sappy, but I randomly went into a stream a bit over a year ago because I was bored one night and I didn't expect to meet a couple of awesome people that just gave me a place to relax and enjoy casual conversations. This was especially impactful since I was in a new country with limited social interaction at the time. They say time flies when you're having fun, and all I can say is it's been a year, and honestly, it feels like it was only yesterday that I met you guys. So I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I'm looking forward to seeing you two reach even greater heights because I genuinely think you two deserve it. And I'll give it back to the one true mod. Thank you. Uh-huh.
That was a beautiful pun. I love it. As for me, I mean, I talk to you guys as often as we can. So I think you guys already pretty much know my feelings, but it's been great to just randomly pop in and find some weird chick with hats on the back of her wall and some weird voice that came out of nowhere, and somehow turn that into a friendship. It's been a year. It hasn't been always the easiest year. You guys have gone through stuff during the last year. I've gone through stuff during the last year. And even stuff that stream may not necessarily be aware of. And you guys have kind of stood by me through all that. And I very much appreciate you for that. I very much appreciate the opportunity to be a part of the community and help lead the community, even if I am sometimes questionable in my word choices. You guys know for the most part that it comes from a good place. And I'm very proud of the community that you guys have built and let me be a part of. And I hope that there's many, many, many more of these, and maybe next year when we go to the 2-year anniversary and we're sitting here asking you the same questions, like, do they frown on tattoos in Japan? We'll still be in a good spot and still have the same amazing family behind us, doing all of our crazy shenanigans. And with that, I kind of wanted to open the floor up to you guys. Mm-hmm. Do you have I mean, since it's only fair, do you guys have any questions for Kiro and I? Since we gave you the third degree, is there anything that you want to put us on the spot with? Any questions you want to ask our perspective on, and anything along those lines?
So you guys have probably been the most and we'll leave our last kind of ending notes on everything that just was said later at the very end. But so I'm just gonna go into a question that I have for you guys. But what's it like being a mod for Bluest? What's like what?
Yeah, I wanted to ask that too.
Yeah, I have no idea how you guys feel. Do you guys want to quit or something? I don't know. Like I don't. What is it like?
I just did a lot of talking, Kiro. You go ahead and take the floor.
Sure. Okay. So, believe it or not, I genuinely think that it's relatively easier to mod for this community first of all, compared to, for example, what I notice mods doing in other streams. Simply because you guys are very invested in interacting with your chat and responding to everything that you can handle responding to, in terms of like an influx of messages. I mean, so for the most part, you guys catch everything, and you don't let us get the chance. Get the chance to. But I mean, you build a very friendly community, so it's very rare to have occurrences where issues arise. I will say that the only thing that I hate is modding dark mode, but that's a separate issue altogether.
That's true.
Yeah, y'all and your porn habits, to all y'all that's listening, are nasty.
Y'all need help.
Y'all need Jesus.
But yeah, like in that sense, it's because you guys, even at the beginning, you made it a point that it being a mod shouldn't interfere with my enjoyment of the stream. And like I shouldn't be looking at it as some role I have to fulfill very seriously at the expense of like just chilling in the chat. So it was very pressure free, if you know what I mean.
All right.
I think for me, it's been a ride, because I don't know, Kiro. I know we modded or had you mod a little while after some of the beginning streams, because we had one other moderator before. That didn't end up working out, but some of those early streams were a blast, with people coming in and trolling and having to mass ban people making multiple accounts, which only happens seems to be a rare occasion now, knock on wood.
Yeah.
But I really think that it hasn't really ever felt like being a mod. It's really just felt more like kind of being your friends and being there to support you. You know what I mean? So kind of like one of those situations where, hey, I got a flat tire in a parking lot. I'm right down the road from you. It might be negative 3 degrees out, but can you come help me change a tire? When a problem comes out in chat. And yes, Goro, that was specifically directed at you. But yeah, I mean, it's just felt like kind of sort of calling on a friend when you need it. And, 90% of the time, I'd say you don't really need us there. It's kind of good to have the backup and, someone to actually ban the person that needs banned instead of banning the person below them, Gray. not to call you out too hard or anything.
Not very good at it.
but yeah, it's been I think it's been great. I mean, you have your occasional hiccups and stuff here and there, but it's never really felt more of a job, at least any more sort of than I create it for myself. You know, but for the most part, I think it just kind of feels like, having fun. I mean, look what Kiro just popped up into chat. I got my own GIF with my face on it and everything. It's great. I just dropped the band hammer. It's fantastic. How many other mods have one of those?
Multiple versions of them too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And my own emote?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Kira, I think you need to start showing your face more.
I know, right?
I do have an idea for a keto ban emote though.
All right, we're gonna hit up Alfred then.
Make it happen.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we
It would
need
be
it.
the lightest hit you could ever see, like hitting you with a pillow.
Sock and boppers. I just showed my age there. I'm sorry.
All right, so my question for you two is, what are your favorite Bluest moments?
Oof. True, you handled this one. I started last time.
Oh, okay, I see. Diverting the question.
There is none.
I mean, that one time Gray bumped Blue while they were getting scared. That was great. God, favorite moments of Blue stream. Honestly. Oh, yeah. I guess you can have that one, Kiro. Sorry, we're talking in text chat too.
Yeah.
But I'd probably say best moments have been probably some of the early stream stuff. The maybe original classy bathrobe, trying to figure out what Gray looks like. And what was it? The Find Gray streams when you were streaming yourself, for people to finally see your face before you did the face reveal. And speaking more recently, I think the scare that I did for you on that one stream where y'all called me a little bitch, I think that was great. I kept that clip.
Yeah.
That was great. What about you, Kiro?
Well, going off of some of the stuff you mentioned in the earlier streams when people were trying to figure out the face behind the voice. So I usually at the time, generally I try to show up as early as I can to the stream. So after getting a notification, I went into one stream and just see Gray in all his glory, just casually tinkering with his PC without realizing that he was on stream. And I rushed to message him on Discord, and the sheer shock on his face when he read that and rushing to close that stream, that was probably a very fun moment for me.
He got like 5 DMs all at the same time of
Exactly.
Hi Gray, you look beautiful.
I remember that. I'll never forget that.
Yep.
10 days into stream.
Yep.
10 days. Exactly 10 days. In that moment, I thought, okay, we have to bod True and Kiro so they don't blackmail me.
That was the blackmail.
Yeah, pretty much.
Not gonna lie, I had a screenshot saved.
You bitch. I mean, who wouldn't? Totally, yeah.
Everybody had one for lewd purposes.
Yeah. But yeah, okay, that's cool, man. Like, it's just because we didn't really talk about anything after all those kind messages. I think it's only fair if we have our message to them, right? So,
Yeah.
um, I mean, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable that you do something for a year that everywhere on the internet it says, it's the worst time to start because it's so saturated and everyone's doing it. And we didn't really care about that. We didn't know about Twitch. We went straight into it. And to have such a strong community that reacts to pretty much everything that we do, interacts with everything that we do, it's thank you is not enough. I say thank you every time, but it's just not enough. And if just hanging out with us two, or it's not even us two at this point, us two and the gang, right? Everyone that's not you in chat makes your day a little bit more comfortable, a little bit better in any way. And maybe if we're going through a hard time, maybe a little harder. I don't know, more emotional. I don't know. But if it can change your day in any way, and if it is something that you want to come back to, then all we gotta say is you guys make that. It might be a little bit of us, but I want everybody to know that it's you guys. We're just part of the piece. We're not the whole puzzle, you know. And everybody makes the puzzle, you know. So thank you so much for everything that you guys have done. And I'm not just talking about following, subscribing, donation bits like that too, but I'm saying like just taking the day of your time, your busy day, to come and hang out with us means everything to us. And we'll do everything in our power and everything we can to keep it a safe space for you, keep it a safe space for everybody that's there, and a fun place too at the same time. So I hope you hang out and let's get it.
Let's get it.
Yeah. How about you, Blue? Get ready for a 30-minute speech, guys.
Hey.
I'm kidding.
No, I'll keep it short.
My body is ready.
Yeah. Say everything you
Unleash Blue.
I guess, yeah, thank you to, everyone who helped me get through that really low point in my life. I mean, if it wasn't for everyone here, we wouldn't still be here. And I mean, if I didn't start it and if those people weren't there in those first couple streams, I don't know what it's hard to imagine where I would be if I didn't have this. Like, I don't really want to imagine what it would have been like if I didn't start streaming either, and if I didn't have all these people who supported me. And so, and yeah, I mean, I think thank you is not enough. It's not a heavy enough word to express my feelings and my gratitude towards everyone. But I don't know, it's still really unbelievable that everyone's here, I guess. And I'm gonna get all emotional again. But yeah, I don't know. I guess we're very, very fortunate. And I hope everyone enjoys their time with each other as much as I do. Even though I know I'm not very active as much on Discord like Gray is, but I read everyone's comments and I really appreciate everyone. I guess, yeah, everyone being there and yeah. Yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you two mods, thank you guys so much for. I mean, the shit that you guys say that it's not that big of a job to do it, but from day one we said that we don't want to mod people. We don't want to mod them because this is your space as much as it's everybody else's space. And if it's going to take away from you, and when we heard the description of what a mod was, because we didn't know what it was, we were like, who the hell wants to be a mod? Like it just didn't seem fun. It was like,
Some crazy people.
So when we asked you guys about it, and you guys said okay, the thing that I said was, it's not a job, so just do your thing, and it's enjoy the stream that like you would, and I hope that you guys were able to do it. We couldn't be luckier to have found you two, and as True mentioned before, we had other mods, and we thank them from the bottom of our hearts for taking their time. For really, even if it didn't work out, there's a reason why. We know exactly the reason why it didn't work out for these people, and so there's no hatred towards them, and we thank them too. But you two have always been there, and I can't believe how lucky we are that we found you on the first week of streaming, to be able to still be friends and still, be very, very proud that you guys are mods. So, there might be stuff that happens down the road, but I hope that we have a bond that's strong enough for us to communicate everything, and we'll always go to you guys for advice. And no big decisions will ever be made without you guys. That's what it means, I think. And of course, you guys and the community, because that's what we're all about. And I hope if this stream just go anywhere beyond this, we're gonna make sure that everybody's kind of in that lunch table, and maybe we might get to a point where not everybody gets to sit there unintentionally. Like, we want to include everybody. It might just physically be impossible, but I think everybody that's listening to this, honestly, at this point is, and yeah, you guys especially, you guys have seen us grow. You guys have seen us not grow. You guys have seen us go through hard times, good times, and you're still with us. So thank you for being part of Bluest. You guys are all part of Bluest. Without you guys, we are not Bluest. It's not just me and Blue anymore.
Yeah.
So
I appreciate that.
And I want to say, sorry, I'm going to cut you off too. But I wanted to say thank you to both of you, since I know, yeah, like Grace said, I know you said it's not hard, but I know you guys have a lot of pressure on yourselves too, or you put a lot of pressure on yourselves, and I know you carry a lot on your shoulders, especially when it comes to, because I mean, with the status of mod, I know there is some expectations that people hold for you two, so I know it's not, I suppose, like, there are some things that you two have to be aware of, and you two have placed or expectations on yourself as well, and so thank you for, I guess, putting up with that kind of pressure and the stress that that may come from it, and still willing to stick with us. So, thank you.
thank you guys. Arigato.
Of course. Thank you, guys.
It's our pleasure.
I guess that's like the perfect place to finish this up, huh?
Unless there's anything else.
Yeah, if you guys have anything else, please.
No, I'm good. All I was going to attach onto that was when even the one person that you've banned over the last year sends you a message of happy 1 year anniversary, you're a wholesome stream.
Can I just say that our mod reached out to someone that we banned to get a message? there's a problem somewhere, and there's also a joke in there somewhere that we still haven't really figured out yet. And that's gonna definitely be something that I think of, like, randomly, like, wait, oh wow, okay, I guess so that's pretty crazy. That's insane. And thank you.
I still like to keep track of everybody, including our trolls, just to make sure
yeah,
everybody's okay.
Thank you guys so much for doing that too, going around asking people these messages. We had no idea.
So thank you to the community members that put up with me spamming fucking messages for the last 4 hours, technically on East Coast time, at 1 to 5 o'clock in the morning before I was running D&D, trying to get everything together for this. And thank you to Kiro for taking half of that job, also being weird and messaging people at 3 o'clock in the morning for Hey, you got anything you want to say or any questions you want to ask?
Hey, don't judge me,
Great.
okay?
It was a good time.
Do they know that it's going to be part of this special podcast?
Nope. I told him it was I don't know what Kiro told him, but I told him it was a secret.
Mhm.
And that we were recording something.
Okay.
But I didn't say what.
Yeah.
And I was just like, hey, so we're just gathering up stuff. And if you want to pose any questions that you've always wanted to ask them, go ahead and pose them. And if not, if you want to do a personal 1 year, happy 1 year anniversary saying, to go ahead and do that. And kind of on behalf of everybody from the rest of the Discord, I'm pretty sure I could speak on behalf of everybody when they all kind of follow suit with what everybody else said, and and how much you guys have done for the community and building community. Because unfortunately, with how close I cut this, for information wise, not everybody really got a chance to probably respond. There's probably plenty of people who were sleeping when I still message them, but any of those messages that I get back after this, even from the rest of the day, I'll be forwarding on to you guys in DM, just so that you guys can hear from those guys directly.
Thank you, man. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. I'm trying to keep my cool. Okay. But yeah. This is easily best podcast episode. I mean, for us, thank you guys for doing this, man. And we should. It doesn't even have to be 2 years. We should do this again. It's really cool to actually have. I think people are also interested in what it's like, and maybe not just mods. Like, get more people in here. Like, it'll be a good time. So
Yeah.
maybe we can do this again. But yeah, thank you guys so much. Well, we're gonna. I'll edit this part out. But. I guess I won't.
Also, trash talking can happen.
No. But yeah, thank you guys so much, and we'll see you guys. We're gonna go edit this, and hopefully, I have to listen to this again. It's gonna be hard for me to not listen to this.
You're gonna get those onion cutting ninjas attacking out of nowhere, like what?
Oh my god. Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Thank you guys. We'll see you guys soon.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Take care, guys.
Bye-bye.